Hey guys, it's me, Poppy Rain here, coming to you with Volgtober Day 7. Today we are going to be reading more in our Blackbeard Pirate Captain of Queen Anne's Revenge book. If you guys saw Day 6, you will know what I'm talking about. So, here goes that. The First Revenge. Around the time of Blackbeard, the Blackbeard acquired his own ship. History started to take a keener interest in him. Working in tandem with his mentor, Blackbeard again spent the winter and spring sailing in search of a prize to solidify Hornigold's position as the leader of the Bohemian pirates among rising competitors. They made a round of the Caribbean, working their way southward along the Mosquito Coast to what is now Panama. On April 1st, 1717, during their return home, they overtook the Bonnet of Jamaica, filled with gold coins. The Bonnet herself was also a prize, faster and in better condition than Hornigold's adventure. The pirates took their guns onto their new sloop of war and left the rotting adventure behind. Within days, they spied another sail on the horizon, the Revenge, a heavily laden treasure sloop, and the prize they'd been waiting for. After capturing and plundering her, they released her, satisfied, and returned home with a total of 400,000 pesos. Wealth so staggering and unprecedented that there would be no question of a different leader back in the Bahamas. Meanwhile, Blackbeard was free to embark on his first solo cruise and was on the lookout for a bigger flagship to wage war on the east coast of America. He had recently received news that the infamous pirate Samuel Bellamy's ship, Wydye, had wrecked in a freak storm of Massachusetts, which claimed the lives of 146 pirates and Bellamy himself. This is Pirate Conduct, the Stack of Panama. The handful of pirate survivors who washed up on the shore were apprehended immediately by the colonists, who had little pity for the terrorists of their coastline. Woodward writes, Blackbeard was particularly encased by the news. His friend Bellamy was dead, and the pious fools in Boston were bent on executing the last of the survivors. That could not be allowed to happen, and if it did, Blackbeard would exact a terrible revenge on the people of New England. Just before leaving Nassau in August, he stumbled upon the perfect ship of war. Stede of no relation to Hornigold's ship Bonnet, was the most unlikely of pirates, a gentleman with stars in his eyes, motivated more by greed than by principle. Bonnet had courteously paid to have a yard build him 60 tons, 70 cannon sloop of war, Revenge, a common ship name. A landlubber through and through, he filled his cabin with books, hired skilled sailors as his crew, and deserted his family on their plantation in Barbados to take up his new hobby of piracy. Unsurprisingly, he took a bad battering from one of the first ships he naively attacked, a Spanish warship twice his ship's size. Severely wounded and with half his crew dead, Bonnet hobbled onto Nassau, a pirate refuge, and into the waiting arms of Blackbeard. Blackbeard had little difficulty convincing the shaken would-be pirate that he should let Blackbeard command his beautiful ship, while Bonnet could remain on board and read his books, as he has not been used to the fatigues and care of such a post. It would be better for him to decline it and live at ease at his pleasure in such a ship as his, where he should not be obliged to perform duty, but follow into his own inclinations, quoted Captain Charles Johnson in the 1724. Thus Blackbeard cunningly took control of the new flagship Revenge and set sail for America, with Stede Bonnet recuperating in his dressing gown below decks. The unlikely pirate Stede Bonnet. Differing accounts made it unclear whether Hornigold joined Blackbeard as he stalked the east coast of America in the autumn of 1717, but evidence holds that Blackbeard and his group of 70 men were operating alone, without Hornigold to defer to. Blackbeard's personal motivation took center stage, and he waged outright war on British commerce along America's Atlantic seaboard. Fierce and wild. When a suit of white sails punctuated the horizon, it could take hours before the ship was close enough to make out its captain. A wave rolled slowly by. The captain of the merchantman would have taken out his long spyglass to discern a glimpse of the ship's flag and her master. The vision in the spyglass would lodge a rock of dread in the merchantman's stomach if it was Blackbeard who came into full, terrifying focus. Adorned in the gaudy finery of his captures, a silk sash holding 3 pistols slung across one shoulder, smoke demonically encircling his head, and oiled black beard, and eyes fierce and wild. Woodward notes, the crew of the merchant ship could take one look at his apparition, surrounded by an army of wild men bearing muskets, cutlasses, and primitive hand grenades, and would invariably surrender without firing a shot. Blackbeard's terror tactic was logical and effective. With his theoretical fiendish show, he was able to preempt destruction to his own ship in battle, capture prizes with minimal bloodshed, and ensure that the vessel he captured remained undamaged and thus of maximum possible value to his company. That fall, he harshed shipping on the mid-Atlantic coast in a way that country had never seen, certainly not during peacetime. Regardless of the origins or destinations of his ship, Blackbeard attacked, taking not only gold and silver, but new sails, anchors, cables, and even captive doctors when needed. The 18th century oil painting of Blackbeard and his men in combat. Sometimes he added the ships to his fleet, but many times he plundered and burned them. So through was Blackbeard's destruction, and so large were the numbers of the new recruits joining his gang, both voluntarily and under force for their particular skill, that London's Council of Trade and Plantations declared that without effective action, the whole of trade from Great Britain to those parts will be imminent danger of being lost. Woodward notes, of the 2 weeks' reign of terror, Blackbeard took at least 15 vessels in all, and in the process became the most feared pirate the Americans in the Americas practically overnight. I'm going to leave that here for now, guys. This is going to be a shorter video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will continue this most likely on day 7. Maybe not, because I did finally get the stuff to make the ship, so day 7 might be making the ship in a bottle. I haven't decided yet, because we're only on page 25 out of 60. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed today's vlog, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye, guys.